Hi guys! So yesterday we have discussed about the graph of system of linear equations. So this day we are going to have categorizing the graph of linear system. Okay? So for our recap or recall, let us solve the kinds of system of linear equations in two variables. Can you give those three? Okay, yes, they are the consistent system, inconsistent system, and dependent system. Then we also discuss the kinds of graph that we have obtained if we are going to graph the equations in the given system. Can you give those three? Yes, they are intersecting lines, parallel lines, and coinciding lines. And then, as we have graphed the given system, so we have also discussed how many solutions can we obtain through graphing. Okay, so the number of solutions that we have discussed yesterday are 1, none, and many or infinite. Okay, so I hope you can still remember what are those terms or important terms that we have discussed yesterday. Okay, so let us see. Graph the system of linear equation. Let's have a recap on what we have discussed yesterday. I have here again x plus 2y equals 4 and x plus 2y equals 2. So as I've said, you can use any of the three methods in graphing this kind of system or equations in the given system. So I prepare to use x and y intercepts in this system. So I have x plus 2y equals 4, and if I am going to use the x and y intercept, I find first for the y-intercept, I cover up x, so I left with 2y equals 4 and divide it mentally by 2. Then I obtained y equals 2, and then I have to plot here y equals 2 as our y-intercept, and then I look for the x-intercept on the first equation, so I cover up 2y, and then I left with x equals 4. So therefore, the x-intercept in the first equation is x equals 4 or 4, 0. So I have to plot in this place. And then I am going to connect the 2 points and label it as the graph of x plus 2y equals 4. Okay, can you remember that? Okay, so let's proceed with the second equation. We have x plus 2y equals 2. So for the y-intercept, I cover up x, so I left with 2y equals 2. So divide mentally by the coefficient of y2. So our y is 1. Then I have to plot here y equals 1 or 0, 1. And then to find for the x-intercept, I have here to cover up 2y. So I left with x equals 2. So the x-intercept will be 2 or 2, 0. So I have to plot here 2, 0. Then connect the points, and that will be the graph of x plus 2y equals 2. Okay. So since I have here already the graph, so what can you say? The lines formed of the two graphs of the equations. Yes, so they have or they are parallel lines. Okay? Then since the lines are parallel, what kind of system do we have? Yes, we have inconsistent system. Okay? And since we have inconsistent system and the lines are parallel, how many solutions do we have? Yes, there will be no solution because the lines or the graph do not intersect because they formed parallel lines. So again, parallel lines are lines that do not intersect, and the solution can be found if the lines where the lines intersect. So since they do not intersect, there is no solution. Okay? So this was the topic that we have discussed yesterday. Okay? So to proceed, did you know that you can determine the graph of linear system without graphing? Yes, you can still determine the graph of system without graphing. How? Okay? So I have here different sets of systems. So we have to rewrite the following sets of linear equations in slope-intercept form. Can you still remember the slope-intercept form? Okay, so again, that is in the form y equals mx plus b. So again, slope-intercept form is in the form y equals mx plus b. Okay, so let us first the first equation in the system. We have x plus y equals 3. So for us to rewrite this in this form, we have y equals negative x plus 3. Okay? And then you are going to give the values of m and b. Okay? By simply observing later the values of the m or the slope and our b, we can determine the graph of the system and even the kind of system. Okay? So we have here our m is negative 1 because we haven't seen any number before x, but we have the negative sign, so it means negative 1. Then our b is 3. Okay? On the second equation, we have x minus y equals 1. We have negative y equals negative x plus 1. But since we have here negative, so we are going to divide all the terms of our equation by negative 1. So that you can have y equals negative x by negative x is x, then positive 1 by negative 1 is negative 1. So our m here will be, yes, 1. Since, again, you haven't seen any number, it is understood that you have the invisible 1 here. And then, our b is negative 1. Okay. So, by recalling the graph that we have obtained yesterday, we have this 1. Okay. So, we have the intersecting lines, and then we have exactly one solution because they intersect at exactly one point, and the kind of system will be consistent. So, this time, by simply observing on the values of m and b, or the slope and y-intercept. So, on the first equation, we have m is equal to negative 1 and b is equal to 3. On the second equation, m is equal to 1 and b is equal to negative 1. Okay. So, what can you say about the values of our m? Yes, they are different because negative 1 is different from 1. And then, how about the values of b? Yes, obviously, they are also different. So, in this case, by simply observing the values of your m and your b on the two equations, you can have the kind of system. You have to take note that if the slopes are different and the y-intercept are different or sometimes same, your kind of system will be consistent. And the kind of graph will be intersecting lines, and there will be one solution. Okay, do you get it? Okay, so let's proceed with the second system. So we have x plus 2y equals 6. So again, let's rewrite this in the slope-intercept form. So we have 2y equals negative x plus 6. Since we have here the coefficient 2, so divide all the terms of the equation by 2. And then you will obtain, so you will have to divide it out. So y equals negative x divided by 2. We can express this also as negative 1/2 x plus 3. So that we can follow the pattern y equals mx plus b. Okay? So our m here will be negative 1/2 and our b here is 3. Do you follow? Okay. For the second equation, let us have here on the lower part, we have 2y equals negative x plus 8. Again, you have to divide all the terms of the equation by 2 to eliminate the coefficient of y. So, you will have here y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. Okay. So, this time, our m is negative 1/2 and our b is 4. Okay. So, yesterday, we have already graphed this. Okay? And we have this graph. Okay? So, what can you say about the graphs? Yes, they are parallel and the kind of system will be inconsistent, and since they are parallel lines, so there will be no solution. But this time again, by simply observing our m and b, so on the first equation, we have m equals negative 1/2, then we have b equals 3. On the second equation, we have m equals negative 1/2 and b equals 4. So how can you describe the values of our m? Yes, they are the same. How about the values of our b? Yes, they are different. So by simply observing the values of m and b, so we have here, if the slopes are the same and if the y-intercept are different, so the kind of system will be inconsistent, the kind of graph will be parallel lines, and there will be no solution. Okay, do you follow? Okay. Okay, excuse me. So let's have the third set. We have x minus y equals 3 and 4x minus 4y equals 12. So let's have the first equation. We have negative y equals negative x plus 3. Then since again we have your negative sign, so it is understood that you have there negative 1. So divide all the terms of the equation by negative 1. Then you will have y equals negative x by negative 1 is x. Then positive 3 by negative 1 is negative 3. So this time, the value of our m is 1 and the value of our b is negative 3. So for the second equation, we have negative 4y equals negative 4x plus 12. Since we have negative 4 as the coefficient of y, so let's divide all the terms of the equation by negative 4. So we have here, okay, cancel it out. So y equals negative 4x divided by negative 4 will be x. Then positive 12 divided by negative 4 is negative 3. So the value of our m here is 1. The value of our b is negative 3. Okay. So you have noticed that they are, yes, they are equal or they are the same. Okay. So yesterday we have the graph that the two lines coincide. So it appears, or the lines appear as one. Okay? So we have here to observe again the values of our m and b. So what can you say about the values of m? Yes, they are the same. And our b? Yes, they are also the same. So by simply observing the values of m and b, which are the same, so same slope, same y-intercept, the kind of system will be dependent. And the kind of graph will be coinciding, and there will be many or infinite solutions. Okay. So those are the methods on how you are going to categorize the graph even without graphing by simply observing the values of our m and b. Okay? So to sum it up, we have here the kind of system. Then we are going to find for the slope, for the y-intercept. Then we can already distinguish the graph and the number of solutions. So again, even without graphing, if you have different slope and same or different y-intercept, your system will be consistent. And the graph will be intersecting lines and there will be one solution. And then, if your slope again will be the same or equal, and you have different y-intercept or unequal, the kind of system will be inconsistent, the graph will be parallel lines, and there will be no solution, or the solution will be none. And for the third type, we have if the slopes are the same, and the y-intercepts are also the same, so the kind of system will be dependent, the kind of graph will be coinciding lines, and the number of solutions will be many or infinite. Okay, so I hope you got it all. So you can screenshot this slide rather, so that you can have that on your notebook or your phone for the summary of our topic today. Okay. And then I have here 3 sets of system. So you will just rewrite without graphing. Rewrite the following in slope-intercept form. Then determine the kind of system of linear equation. So again, after writing or rewriting that to slope-intercept form, just observe the values of your m and your b, and then you can determine the kind of system by simply looking at the table that we have on the previous slide. So this will be the first set. X plus 2y equals 4 and 2x plus 4y equals 8. The second set will be 3x plus y equals 7 and 2x minus y equals 30. And then the last is 2x plus 6y equals 11 and x plus 3y equals 3. Okay? So if you have your free time, you can try this 3 and then you can PM me your answer so that you can test yourself if you have the correct answer. So that's all for this day. Happy learning!